Issue 248, Worlds Collide. I wonder how much time will be wasted with boring padding where Sonic and Mega Man fight when they should be on the same side. I don't really see much appeal to this action because it's not like I'm watching it in motion with all the sights and sounds. So it's not exciting, it's just a bunch of still images I'm trying to interpret as a PowerPoint presentation. Not to mention Sonic not just winning immediately by spin dashing through him at the speed of sound is completely ridiculous because of how fast he is. Mega Man shouldn't even have a chance, which makes their entire fight stupid, even if it's justified properly, because it should have ended much sooner. I mean, Sonic doesn't have a reason to hold back, his opponent's a robot. How's he supposed to know that he's not evil? And Eggman and Wily are stupid to think that Sonic wouldn't just kill Mega Man instead of them both acting equally cheery as if they think they're going to fight to a draw and kill each other. As if they're equally matched. When, no, they're not. There's a very obvious power imbalance here. One of them can attack with a force of over 600 miles per hour, the other is a sitting duck. This is obvious meta logic because if this was normal, then Sonic would have immediately won, and we wouldn't have a crossover. There's a stupid moment where Sonic tells Mega Man that if he tells him where his friends are and what Eggman's up to, he won't smash him, and Mega Man doesn't proceed to say he has no idea, which would have been better for a natural conflict since Sonic wouldn't believe him, and would continue the fight. Instead, he just tries to shoot him like a trigger-happy guy instead of someone who doesn't want to fight. After Mega Man wonders if Sonic's against Wily, he convinces himself that Sonic's a robot because I guess he has no tactile sensors, which would tell him that Sonic clearly has skin and fur. Maybe he thinks it's fake skin and fur. Weirder things have happened in his world, I'm sure. Mega Man plans on getting Sonic repaired by Dr. Light if it's bad coding, and Sonic stomps the ground and destroys some land just trying to attack him. He can really cause destruction. How long before he destroys Green Hill Zone outright? I don't think it's in character for Sonic, the nature-loving hedgehog, to destroy parts of Green Hill Zone just to fight someone. Since when does he do that against robots? Tailsman says that the battle is somehow equally matched because this crossover is written for idiots, and he stupidly asks Eggman if he wants him to stop transmitting the footage. Why would he ever think he'd want to miss out on the moment when the fight ends? Wily points out that spikes are a big problem for Mega Man, which only destroys the story even more because Sonic should have killed him the minute one of his spines touched him, which happened on the first attack when he spin dashed at him. This is so stupid! Even a Brawl in the Family comic was better at writing what would happen in a fight between Sonic and Mega Man. He touches his spines and pops. And how would Wily know that spikes are an insta-kill if Mega Man couldn't have ever died from them in front of him or he wouldn't still be here? That's clearly working on meta logic that makes no sense in universe if you think about it for even a second. Somehow I don't think Mega Man would translate to a comic. Just me. Oh, and apparently their battle station is within their custom-built pocket zone. So the recording is transmitted to them by being teleported to another dimension, apparently. Well, weirder things have happened. I guess they're using magic to do it. Wily says that he doesn't want to do something with the emerald they got until after the fight because they don't want to miss any of it. That makes sense. We see on a screen that they have all but 2 of the Chaos Emeralds plugged in already, even though it was clearly stated that their reality warping machine had only 1 emerald in it. I guess they rewrote reality to give them more emeralds, but were too stupid to make it so that they had all of them right away. Meanwhile, both Mega Man and Sonic think they might not be able to win. Sonic? Really? He should have won by now! Even kindergartners playing a game of which character would win in a fight would have had Sonic win way faster. But that wouldn't make a good story. Then don't write it then! Couldn't we have him fight Copybot instead? That would show off what a fight between the 2 heroes would have been like without killing Mega Man, or writing like this. We could have had the whole fight be just a simulation. Sonic and Mega Man waste more time fighting as Sonic takes advantage of his speed and somehow hasn't killed him with it yet. Now, very obviously, I don't want Mega Man to be killed by Sonic, but that's what would happen if this wasn't running on idiot logic to drag out the fight and keep him alive with obvious plot armor. Roll convinces Proto Man to let her repair him because she apparently knows how to do that as a mere servant robot for cleaning. And there's some more walls of text as Dr. Light talks about rings, and Otto mentions the amnesia cases and memory errors all over the world that the Genesis Wave caused that were mentioned on the news. It's interesting that they had this pointed out, but that's still really stupid, because the reality wave would have rewritten everyone's memories so that it was always the way it was in the past, and they wouldn't think anything had changed. So they wouldn't have a reason to lose memories in the first place. What? I mean, Otto doesn't understand what he's saying since he's only made to fix robots. Even though that's a smart task too. And Dr. Light says he'll upload an intro to quantum mechanics into him later. Why didn't he do that already? He replicates the distortion from here, and we see a ring. What's going on? He says he'll call Duo for assistance, and Mega Man sees a warp ring show up. So that must be what he did. I thought he just summoned a normal ring, and even that's bullshit. Sonic disables Mega Man Shooter because he somehow knew to do that and how to do that out of nowhere. And he doesn't disable it by just destroying it with a spin dash, but by doing something more complicated. How would he know to do that when he's not intimately familiar with how Mega Man is designed from the inside? And he gets tricked into jumping into the warp ring to follow him because through the power of bullshit, Light made a warp ring with no effort and barely any research done with no Chaos Emeralds or rings of his own to create them magically. Sonic wonders where he is, mentioning a bunch of human cities, and he's really surprised that Mega Man mentions he has a dad. And the story ends with him calling up his Rush Jet Dog and the bird robot Beat, and I guess Proto Man has a rush of his own that he's letting him borrow. I was hoping that their fight would be over by now because they get to talking after the word dad was mentioned immediately. But no, they both don't talk to each other like people would. Though they don't have a reason to because they both think their opponents are evil and unreasonable and Sonic's all about fighting first, thinking later. But the dad thing, he should change his mind when he hears that. This issue is by Ian Flynn, and I found it to be nothing but filler. Surprise, surprise. Sonic and Mega Man shouldn't be fighting to begin with, even if it was justified. And the idea that Sonic wouldn't beat him in the fight instantly with his super speed attacks is just absolutely ridiculous and shatters the willing suspension of disbelief. I couldn't enjoy the fight because it was so obvious that this isn't how it would really go. As does the idea that Dr. Light can make a warp ring just like that without any sources of magic whatsoever to help him. He could have at least found a Chaos Emerald. It's hard to get invested in and believe in a do-anything genius who might as well be omnipotent when inventing things is concerned. At least the geniuses in Sonic's world have magic in their world, so maybe natural chaos energy is helping them whether they know it or not. This was just a waste of time. And if the crossover had been as special like it should have been, the fight wouldn't have had an excuse to be that dragged out because it would have ended already to save some comic space for actual plot progression. Next up is Mega Man issue 25. And next up right away is Mobius Legends 3.